Welcome to Cinema Snacks, an Empire Strikes Back review. Hello and welcome back to Cinema Snacks, where we're still in Star Wars season and today's the Empire Strikes Back. I'm Dan, you know me, you're going to get used to this voice a lot during this one. With me I have...
Hi, I'm Jobe.
And Scott's not here, for he went outside and the last we saw, he had put himself inside a Tauntaun.
Yes.
So we have an excavation team trying to get him out.
Exactly.
So, Jobe, you might as well say some bits before I take over this episode.
Well, I guess I'll start by saying the intro of this film the pacing feels very different from the first one. You're already, as I said in the last one, they're already trying to build an expansive universe, even though it's a galaxy. But the fact that they're kind of starting in a new environment, dealing with slightly different things, it already feels like it's prepping you for something a bit different. And being in a different environment, you're not quite sure where else it's going to go.
And, well, I think it proves that now they've adapted into... The first one was the biggest budget independent film. Mm-hmm. And somehow, because Fox did not tie that deal down very well, George produced it himself.
Okay.
Rather than for a studio. And he managed to do it with the money he'd made from the toys. And originally, this was budgeted at $8 million. Mm-hmm. It then ballooned during production to $30.5 million. George had a lot banking on this going well because he'd invested all the money he'd made from merchandise. Mm-hmm. And you're talking like $30 million in like 1979, 1980.
Yeah.
But somehow... we say tongue-in-cheek, it made $550 million and he'd made that $30 million back within the first 3 months. So it was not the big gamble he thought it was going to be, because it paid off nearly 20 times over. And a little fact right near the start, Joe Johnson of Captain America First Avenger fame and the Rocket Man actually has a cameo in this.
Oh, really?
Because he was a production assistant at Lucasfilms. So if you watch these closely, you can see him.
Nice one.
I mean, how do you talk about Empire Strikes Back? There's a big thing that this is normally everyone's favourite film in the original trilogy. Mm-hmm. I've always said it is the best film in the original trilogy, but not my favourite. We'll get into that on the next one. Mm-hmm. You can't tell it's Return of the Jedi.
Of course.
But yeah, we starting Hoth, see... one of the droids going around, lands in the snow.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do a plot synopsis. This is Star Wars.
Yeah.
Everyone's seen it.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I would like to chuck in, because I said I've got a good few notes on this. Most of my notes kind of dim down halfway through the film because I'm too busy watching it. But one thing I liked about this film is that the relationship between Han and Leia, you can kind of see them getting closer together, and that Han is showing interest in Leia in a romantic way, and they're kind of both showing it.
You get the feeling that between there that they've grown close together.
Yeah, and similar with Luke as well, when you don't really, because it's not really explained how much time has passed between the two films.
Yeah, I think, from my knowledge, it's based in real time, but the difference between Empire and Returns is not. So it's supposed to have been about 2-3 years.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, and Marvel did the comics would actually fill it in, which is supposed to be the more canon. But like I said, I don't really. You read it or you don't.
Yeah, as I said before.
But it is a rather fun. I do recommend reading it because I found it a lot of fun because the comic starts moments after A New Hope and ends with them scouting out Hoth as a potential base.
Okay.
So I always really enjoyed that.
As I said, their relationship kind of grows a bit. You can tell that everyone's gotten closer. Also, the fact that when Leia doesn't seem to be taking Han Solo's tomfoolery properly, I guess you can tell he's genuinely hurt. He's not just like, oh, fine, whatever. He's like. You can see he genuinely does actually get hurt.
Went from bravado in the first one to he is a scoundrel.
Yeah.
as mentioned in the film. That's the endearing thing about Han. Like, he's a bit of a bad boy, he's a bit of a rebel, but really his heart's in the right place, and he just wants to be part of the team, like most rebels like this.
Yeah, and having watched this the other day, you can kind of feel that a lot of people, when they talk about this film and talk about their relationship in particular, it feels like they're kind of shipping just that bit too much. But now, having watched it again, kind of with that in mind, I'm like, no, this does feel a bit more natural. It does feel a bit organic. It doesn't feel like it's been forced.
Well,
No pun intended.
Talking about shipping, I'm going to give an amusing aside from watching this. So, as we know, as the film starts, we see the Empire's droid land in the snow, start trying to scan out. Luke sees it while riding his Tauntaun. He then gets hit by, I can't remember the name, the snow thing.
Gets ambushed by a predator.
Yeah. Then he's in the cave, hanging upside down. I love how they did. Do you know how they did the effect thing, pulling the lightsaber towards him?
Did they do a reverse shot where he's
he
actually
threw
throwing it, and then that's a classic.
I think part of this was Mark Hamill, between the films, had been involved in a car crash.
Accident. Yeah,
so it kind of explains
with his car. Yeah,
like the level of how badly he got injured is massively oversold. I think he said himself, he's like, no, he had like scratches and a bit of a scar, so that's what they wrote in.
I would like to say, I would like to throw this in. So, with the Star Wars Christmas special, when I was watching a video covering that, they were saying that Mark Hamill had the accident, and that's why he had a lot of cosmetics over his face. But so with that in mind, when I was watching this part, and then he has the scars on his face later, I'm thinking, is this around the time he had the accident? And then that's not as much prosthetic.
Yeah, it's not far off. Like, it tracks in kind of time for the Christmas special, but there's a year or two later.
Oh, okay.
And I love something Mark Hamill said as well. So he's like, with the first film, no one knew Star Wars was going to be big. So he said, like, he got the script and he was handing it off to friends, like, you've got to read this. Like, this is bonkers. He's like, but I'm the main character in it.
Yeah.
So he said, like, the script, like, everyone had read it before it come out of friends he knew. When they did Empire Strikes Back, he's like, no, they weren't that. It's like, literally, you got given the script, someone stood over you. He's like, everything was so secretive. Like, they filmed part of it in Iceland, like the snow parting off.
Yeah.
And people were so desperate to find information, a couple of cars were dropping them the set, and someone watching was like, oh my god, they're using Ford style cars as like in the scene. They were that desperate. Like, it's a change between the two films, and Mark Hamill was like, no, it was just dropping us the set. But he's like, we couldn't even figure out how they was getting the pictures. Like, they had security going around, and they're still...
Oh, that's funny.
So, and we see, like, and in that first part, I like the start as well, right? Because you see Luke's getting that first vision of Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
But also, like we said, you have Han and Leia's back and forth. But when Han hears Luke's not back, without a second's hesitation,
he's just out.
So Luke fights off the monster, gets out. He's not in a good way.
Yeah.
Because also his Tauntaun's been eaten.
Yeah, he's being hit by exposure, and when Obi-Wan kind of shows up as the Force ghost,
you're not sure if he's hallucinating.
Yeah, and I thought that was a good touch.
But Han finds him, and I always say there's a moment in this I don't think gets mentioned enough, because when you dive too much into Star Wars, so Han wields a lightsaber only once. And it's when he finds Luke and he realises the weather's too bad. And
opens the
Tauntaun. So they open the Tauntaun. But seeing Han with a lightsaber is still a moment to me.
It is. Same for me, because it still feels kind of...
But apparently the colour of the lightsaber is dictated by the person who holds it. And this is now what it's canon in the Acolyte, where one of them is blue, but as they turn, it starts to change red to do the Kyber crystal.
Right, okay.
So this is weirdly canon, but it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, because I was going to say, because with the next film, we can talk about the colours later.
Yeah, so when I was watching this the other night with my darling wife, I was like,
I'm worried where this is going to go.
Oh, it's so much worse than what you think. So I was watching it, and I was like, when you think about it, like, because it's implied Han gets in Tauntaun as well.
Yes.
So I was like...
Actually, no, it's not, actually.
He's got to. It's cold.
No, I would say no, but keep going.
For the sake of this story.
For the sake of the story, yeah.
So I was like, we never hear much about Han and Luke's one night in a tauntaun. Which has become a whole thing. Of like, he's like, hey kid, we need to keep warm tonight. And it gets worse when you think about it, because Luke's kind of unconscious. Han's like, hey, that wasn't the only lightsaber I held that night. So, if you want to hear more of my fan fiction of Han and Luke's one night in a tauntaun,
I mean,
they have to spend the whole night. They've got to keep warm. They've got to keep close.
I mean, Chuck Tingle's probably written something very similar. He does actually say that he's keeping him in the tauntaun whilst they're setting up the camp. So he's keeping him...
What camp?
No, he said he's got that's it. He said he needs to build shelter.
Yeah.
He said, I need to build shelter. So he's keeping him in the tauntaun whilst he builds a shelter.
And where is it when they come there?
I don't know. All I'm saying is that he said, I'm going to build a shelter, you stay in the tauntaun. Anything beyond that, I would put as speculation. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't quite think that's how that went.
There's no proof. They're just suddenly there the next day, and he's like, "Hey kid, we need to get you back." I made Joe laugh with my Mark Hamill impression of
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, Mark Hamill does an impression.
Oh,
of
right.
Harrison Ford.
I was literally thinking like that's not Mark.
So
Hamill.
you can't trick me like that. But yeah, you just see it whenever he does an impression of Harrison Ford. He always. I don't know a lot about voice acting, but if you lean your chin in, you can get a bit of an echo like
no, I guess that
Harrison.
Makes sense.
So yeah, he's always. Example he gives is when they was watching Empire, and he said Harrison turned to him, and we'll get to that part later. He was like, "Hey kid, you didn't tell me he was your father." But so yeah, they're then rescued and they go back. But the Empire have figured out that they're now on Hoth, and you get the snow battle. And the first time we see in that 80-80.
Exactly. I mean, there were hostiles on that hill. I literally wrote that in my notes.
It's then everybody is then trying to leave, and the team split up. And I didn't realise till I was reading notes on this. This is the last time for quite a while that Luke and Han actually see each other. Yeah. They separate, and then the next time he sees him in Return, which is our next one, Luke's basically become a Jedi. So he sees him as this slightly anxious, nervous, training Jedi.
Yeah.
So then he sees like the more grown-up Luke that we see in the next one. They're trying to get out the base. Vader's closing them down. Luke's out with the team, and he kind of gets taken down. But you see the great shot of him going around the legs of the AT-AT, and everyone just about gets away.
Pretty much.
And I mean, like just like
skin
they're
in your teeth.
Then Luke says he's got to go to the Dagobah system.
Yeah.
While the others kind of regroup and trying to get away. And this is like, you kind of have two concurrent stories running at this point, which I kind of love. And then it accumulates again at the end. Believe it or not, I've been holding back the fanboyness of my thing of Star Wars, because I really like A New Hope.
Yeah.
And like I said, Empire is the best film, but it's not my favourite of the original trilogy.
Which I always find an interesting thing to kind of realise when you're a fan of a particular thing of, I know this is not factually, but I know this is objectively a better film, but I know I prefer this one.
And we'll touch on that more when we get to Return as well. Luke is now on his way to Dagobah because he's been told he needs to get trained by someone, by Yoda. And this will, when you hear me start getting my first pet peeves with George Lucas not watching his own films when he bloody wrote the prequels.
Okay.
And
I mean, I'm assuming we'll get to the prequels at some point.
God, I hope not. I hope this podcast is longer by the time we have the chance to get to the prequels. So Luke is now on his way to Dagobah, and we'll start with that first. We're not going to do the linear. Everyone's seen it. Yeah.
If you're listening to this podcast, you know you've already watched it.
Yeah. And now I love the whole Dagobah thing. I love the way Yoda is.
Yes.
And a fun fact: George Lucas was so impressed with Frank Oz's Yoda, he tried to get him nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
That's good.
And I read on this, and it's one of there was a lot of reasons around this film why George Lucas left the Directors Guild, and it has an effect on a potential director or directors in Return of the Jedi, because they let him not put the credits at the start of the film for A New Hope. But the thing was, you had to credit people, because he was a writer-director, they allowed it, but he wasn't the director of this one.
Okay.
So he got fined, and so did most of the people working on the film, but he paid all their fines.
Okay. Well, I mean, he could afford to at that point.
Yeah, but he was adamant, like, it was his vision, he didn't want the credits till the end. So, yeah, that cost him a lot of money, like, to do that. But Frank Oz, they said, they was like, were you bothered? He's like, no, I didn't really care if I got nominated for Best Supporting Actor or not. But, so Luke, they find Dagobah. It always makes me chuckle this, because you see R2 as well, right? He crashes his X-Wing into Dagobah.
Yeah.
He gets out, and it's the wonderful things you learn about R2 as you go. Like, where is R2? And then you just see that.
Look, I've literally put R2's periscope is cute.
Yeah.
It's just so adorable.
But it's just like the funny sound. Like he's going through the swamp, and then you just
I see it sink and
gets grabbed, and then he's chucked out. And you see him, Luke, and Yoda. No, you don't see Yoda yet. You see Luke speaking to R2. And they're setting out the displays, and then we see Yoda for the first time. And I said, watching this, like, it was fun for me, because obviously before I'd seen it, I knew Yoda was in it.
Yeah.
But I was going back in my nostalgia goggles. I remember not realising he was Yoda. I knew Yoda was in the film, and I caught it that young. You didn't have the exposure you have now.
As I said, because when I first watched the trilogy, I was about 17.
Yeah.
So
you knew what Yoda looked like.
I don't necessarily. It's one of those things I may have. Actually, I probably would have, because I was old enough to see because we had all the fandom for episode 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So I already knew what Yoda kind of looked like. So by the time I saw him on screen, I'm like, oh, okay, that's Yoda. And they're playing up the who is this person.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, well, I know what the reveal's going to be. But he's just fun to watch. He's just fun watching being a weirdo.
And it pays off when you suddenly get the reveal.
Yeah, then he's just like, oh, no, I can't be asked.
But Luke could have cut this all a lot shorter. I was sitting and watching it, because he's like, what do we have here? And he does that, his voice. He does it, strangely enough, it was a filter on this, is exactly why I don't sound like Yoda when I do that.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with me, the impression was spot on.
100%. It's like he's in the room.
Yeah, he's kind of like tormenting Luke a bit, and you're like, who is this like guy?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you want to see Yoda? Yes, I know him. At no point Luke thinks to ask his name, because that could have saved the whole thing. He's like, what's your name? Yoda.
Yeah, meme point.
Yeah.
Right, so last time I mentioned that Robot Chicken ruined a lot of Star Wars for me. Also, bad lip sync has ruined this film for me. So
I'm shaking my head.
Yeah, so when he picks up the stick to hit R2 because he's trying to take the other, all I can hear is seagulls. Oh, damn you, internet.
Thank you for that wonderful aside from a spectacular film to talk about hitting seagulls with a stick. I mean, the RSPCA are watching you.
RSPB.
No, I'm not the one hitting seagulls with a stick.
At the beach.
With a robot chicken at the beach. But yeah, you see, like, he's got Luke, and like I said, we're not going to do the linear version.
Yes.
Han, Leia, 3PO, and
that.
Chewie's like we're breaking the things. He takes him back to his hut, because he's like, oh yeah, I'll take him to you.
Yeah.
And sometimes I find directors' choices of doing things fascinating. Mm-hmm. So when Luke is in the hut, and he's kind of like, he tries the soup as well.
Yeah.
And I said it fascinates me, because I love the film so much, so you start to look for little things. Mm-hmm. So Luke tries like his weird broth soup with like snake. And he's like, oh. And then the next couple of times you see him, like, he keeps eating it. You're like, Luke, you got your supplies, stop eating like swamp soup.
I mean, maybe it's one of those things where it's just like, oh man, this isn't great. And then you're like...
Your stomach's like...
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Sod it. At least it's warm. My supplies aren't exactly hot, so I'll have something at least warm inside me, and then I'll remind me of when I was in a Tauntaun with Han.
Yeah. I remember a warm feeling. Hey kid, you never forget it.
But yeah, so I do like that. Although sometimes when you watch something like that, where he's reaching up, getting the soup, and I'm like, so is that Yoda height or is that human height?
Oh, it's Yoda height.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? Like sometimes I'm like, is that, because you can't got quite, because you don't have the full perspective. Sometimes I'm like, that's probably fine.
So as Luke is getting annoyed, and this is a weird director thing. So you know he hits his head because he's getting frustrated. Director made him do it 16 times before he got the shot he wanted.
That's so mean.
I know, it's Ivan Kershner, who was a teacher who taught George Lucas about directing, and that's how he got the part in this.
Okay.
He hits his head, and then Luke kind of has the classic, "Oh, well, I'm not even sure what I'm doing."
Yeah.
And then you just get the coldest reveal where he's like, "Not ready, the boys."
Yeah. It's like, oh no.
But it's like the puppeteering's brilliant because you see his whole face change.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then Obi-Wan's disembodied voice appears.
Yeah.
And this, George, I know you're going to listen to this. You're not. I'm not one of those pretentious people.
I am. George, listen to this right now.
So this really bothers me. Because it's not like he didn't bloody write it before he wrote the prequel. So when Yoda and Obi-Wan are having their thing, he's like, "Oh, I can't teach him, not focused he is." And then Obi-Wan's speaking to him and he goes, "Was I not that way when you first trained me?" He says trained.
Trained, yes.
He's like, "Oh, too old. And he's like, and they go back and forth.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then Luke's like, "No, I'm ready. I can do it. I'm not scared." And then Yoda's like, "Oh,
that's dark. That is
You
dark.
But I'm like, "Come on, George. You wrote it.
Yeah.
How can you forget? Like, when you're doing the things, I know you wanted to put Qui-Gon in.
Yep.
You literally said Obi-Wan was trained by Yoda. We could have had a great moment of tiny puppets walking along in all the scenes."
I know, but they made it CGI.
Not originally. Phantom Menace, he was a puppet, and then they re-edited, because you may notice that George has a thing of doing that, which I'm going to get to.
I mean, there is a thing in the next episode that I do want to talk about.
Oh, there's a lot in that. Good.
In regards to
95% good, 5% bad.
Yeah, but then also this happens with A New Hope as well. Once again, because not having watched it originally, I might as well say it now. Not having watched it originally, and I think I watched. My friend lent me the VHSs.
Was it in a black bag for a window?
No, this was one of my our mutual nerd friend at the time, and he lent it to me on VHS. So that was the close
Still
to
for a window?
Wasn't for a window. He crawled through the drains.
Oh, that's all right.
Dave was a very weird man. But yeah, so he lent me the VHSs. So I have a vague memory of some of the original effects.
This is weird because you got the 97 re-release, the VHSs.
Yeah.
But there are some earlier ones where the cuts are different.
And so that's my point. So having watched this trilogy now, I don't, with the exception of one part I know has been changed, I don't know, having watched them now, I don't know which are quote unquote original or which have been changed since I last saw them. It's not important, but it is a kind of thing that kind of bugs me.
Yeah, well, sadly for me, especially with my favourite one, the next one, I do notice changes.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I know there's a big one at the end.
Yes.
But that kind of makes sense.
No.
Okay, fine.
Then it's revealed who Yoda is, and it suddenly takes down where it's a lot more serious. But now we're going to go to what's been happening with Han, because I think it's best this way, because right near the end of both the stories they start to cross.
Yeah, they're attached.
So they're trying to escape the Empire, and Vader's kind of locked onto them, and the hyperdrive is not working.
Yeah.
So they have to go into the asteroid field, and Vader's like, "No, just keep on them, because Princess Leia's there."
Fair, and fair.
Yeah, that's like a feather in his cap if he can get her.
And to be honest, when you consider kind of what we know about Darth Vader, he is ruthless. He, as far as he's concerned, he's kind of safe. He's not really at risk because he's powerful enough.
Yeah.
He went into deep space for like 2 years and came back, so he's powerful enough to get an escape pod and be fine. It's not like he needs to eat, but everyone else is kind of. Our ships will get damaged and crashed. I don't care.
Yeah,
I need the job done.
It's the pursuit of what he needs.
Yeah.
They are chasing them. They go through the asteroid field. The hyperdrive doesn't work. So Han Solo takes them into an asteroid, asteroid. And this is where we really start to focus more on Han and Leia. And I love C-3PO journey as well. Just completely unaware of everything.
Of course he is, because he's not programmed to understand stuff.
It's like, the chances of navigating an asteroid field are never tell me the odds.
So apparently, I want to throw this in. This is something I've heard outside canon, but basically, whatever race of people Han is, because of that line, other people have assumed that the entire planet where he comes from do not like being told odds. Apparently,
I just like to imagine it's just a planet full of Han Solos going to each other.
Yeah.
Hey kid, hey kid, hey kid, yeah kid, what kid, hey kid.
God. I just felt, okay, that's now my new circle of hell.
It's like the being John Malkovich, but it's just all
Just all Han Solo.
one Indiana Jones.
I mean, they might as well multiverse, you know.
Yeah. They land in the asteroid, and you start notice, like, Han and Leia are getting closer, especially like when they're doing repairs and like their first kiss, because C-3PO's timing is brilliant. He's like, you can admit it, you like me, and she's like, she's getting all flustered.
Yeah.
And then she hurts her hand. He puts on the moves.
Yeah.
Then he finally gets a kiss, and 3PO's like, "Oh, Master Solo, I found it." And you just see him look at him, because then she's buggered off in that time.
So I just thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, I just thought I'd let you know that the chances.
Oh, that is so good. I've been that person.
I know you have. I was the hand in that situation.
Oh dear.
But just thought of you. Completely gold outfit, but somehow like the circuitry on your legs is halfway up. Oh dear, what an image! And the more it goes on, and they go outside. That's when Han cottons on. They've made a huge error.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, in their defence, you wouldn't expect them. No one would expect to be where they are.
Yeah. It does make you think like. So they realise Han then quickly gets out of there because he realises they're actually in the ginormous
Something.
space monster.
Yeah.
So they come flying out, and I always imagine the space monster's like, "Oh, it's really hard to get something to eat."
Yeah.
What I'm saying is my hand's doing like a sock puppet.
Yeah, he's doing a sock puppet hand thing.
He's like, "Oh," he's like, "Do you know how hard it is to just live on an asteroid?"
Oh, well, it could be worse. You could be a monster living in a sand pit in the middle of bleeding nowhere.
Yeah. Next episode.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to get there. So you get introduced to Boba Fett in this one.
Oh yeah.
And I love the introduction, but I hate what they've done. And it's nothing against Tamura Morrison, who in the prequels is Jango Fett. Mm-hmm. Boba Fett's
father clone.
Yeah.
Well, it is technically father clone because he did raise him as well as being his clone.
I love that thing where Vader's speaking to all the bounty hunters. He's like, I want them brought alive. And he just turns to Boba Fett. He's like, and no disintegration.
It's like a rolled up newspaper with your dog. Yeah. No!
And then but this is where it bugs me because I think he maybe said one or two words in the original. And you got Tamura Morrison's like, as you wish. And I'm like, shut up! Boba Fett didn't talk much. That's what makes him good. You don't really know what he's thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just always irks me. And it happens a couple because it was making my wife laugh during the film. Every time he opens his mouth to talk longer than he should, I'm like, doing the Simpsons thing. He's like, shut up! Just say one word.
I mean, that, as I said, one of the advantages for me not being as big a Star Wars fan and not having grown up with it, I don't notice that sort of thing. So these sort of things don't bug me, and I consider that an advantage in some respect. But at the same time, I'd get that. There'd be other things in other media that would do that, and I'm just like, but we already know what this person's going to do. Why are you doing it like this?
And I have a silly bugbear after this with how they get away.
Mm-hmm.
So how they get away is kind of genius. So they see the Falcon fly towards the thing, and then it sits on the back. And they're like, where are they? We can't find them.
Yeah, because they're too close to the ship for it to detect them.
And C-3PO's freaking out as per normal. I think this is the one where they turn him off. He's like, this is never going to work.
Yeah.
And you just see like Chewbacc's like,
C-3PO.
I love 3PO. I genuinely love him.
He's my spirit animal.
Well, it's Charlotte's not here. It's about size accurate for you and Charlotte R2 and 3PO, isn't it? Like height-wise.
Oh, right, I see what you mean. I was just like, oh, no, I think C-3PO's taller. No, I get what you mean. I mean, that's way too...
3PO and R2, every husband and wife. You can switch which one is which.
I see it.
I'm not saying which one mine is, but someone in my relationship is short and sassy.
Yeah. And in my one of them's short and sassy, the other one's really camp. So, yeah, it makes sense.
Just for an aside, when I first met Jobe was like a goth. And while he still has moments of dressing in black and still embraces the culture, not exactly the most metal of goths, were you, as time went on? You become a bit more...
Well, I guess that... Well, for that's just more of a case of money, being able to buy the clothes I like, and having the body shape that isn't... Being as I'm a person of colour, short torso...
Really? I hadn't noticed.
I know, right? Short torso, long limbs. We're not going to talk about my length of my torso.
No, you're just a reverse Gru. Minion.
But yeah... But so finding clothes is always a nightmare because it's either wide enough in the shoulders, not long enough in the arms. So I spend most of my times in t-shirts complaining about how cold I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on.
You forgot where we were then,
I
didn't you?
completely forgot where we were.
So eventually, after sitting on the back of one of the Star Destroyers, Hans' plan worked, which was kind of brilliant.
It's genius.
They dump the rubbish and then they float and fly off. And I was like, that's brilliant. And then he's like, hey, I know somewhere we can go. I will stop the house and forward impressions in the next one. No, I will. I promise. I'm just having too much fun.
Go for it.
So then they fly off. And I was like, but how would Boba Fett know that he was going to float off in the trash?
So, I think because Boba Fett, not being... Because I think it's kind of... Because he later on... Because later on we find out he's a very good bounty hunter and he's a very intelligent man. So he's probably thinking, a ship that big can't just disappear. I know what they've done. It could be it's the old trick of bounty hunters. It's the old trick of smugglers. Because he's a smuggler.
I don't really thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that. How would he know? And like, well, he's a professional bounty hunter who's working to find a smuggler. So he would know what some of the tricks would be. Otherwise, he wouldn't be that good of a bounty hunter. So that's what I think's happened, because he obviously knows that they're going to remove the rubbish before going into hyperdrive, because obviously using less fuel because there's less weight. It's a massive ship, but any weight saved is useful. So he knows they're going to do that as well. So it's like, well, that would make the most sense, because that's the trick that's the trick a smuggler would use, and he'd be smart enough to know what some of the smugglers would do, because he's had to probably hunt smugglers for Jabba the Hutt previously.
And now I'm going to make Joe do something which will either make the cut or it's completely pointless, but I need to put it in both ways.
Okay.
So this is possibly going to be a two-parter, depending on how long we go on for. I'm almost certain it's going to be a two-parter. So as we come into the middle of Act 2, we're going to pause it there, do our outros. Over to you.
Okay, so thanks again for listening. If you do enjoy our stuff, you can follow us on Instagram at CinemaSnacksPod, or on TikTok at cinema.snacks.pod. And also, don't forget to rate and review us on whatever platform you are listening to this podcast on. That helps us. First of all, that just gets us good feedback, and we get to... And it will also help other people come across our podcast. So the more feedback we get, the better it is for the podcast to be shown to other people. Yeah, and after that, I've been Jobe.
And I've been Dan, the Obi-Wan sage, looking over this. And Scott's somewhere in that tauntaun. I really should get in the team to pull him out of there. Anyway, until next time.
Indeed.